The Gospel of Mark, author Mark's theme, Jesus the Servant Son, death AD 55 to 63. Background. Among the four Gospels, Mark is the most consist accounts of the beginning of the Gospels about Jesus Christ, the Son of God, chapter 1, verse 1. Although the author is not identified by name in the book itself, two of all the Gospels, the early and anonymous testimony of the church is that John Mark was responsible for its writing. This man grew up in Jerusalem and was among the first generation of Christian. Acts chapter 12, verse 12, he has the unique opportunity of beginning associated in ministry with three New Testament apostles: Paul, Acts chapter 13, verse 1 to 13, Colossians chapter 4, verse 10, and Philemon 24, Barnabas, Acts chapter 15, verse 39, and Peter, 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 3. According to Papyrus AD 130, other second-century church father Mark derives a contents of his gospel from his association with Peter, writes it in Rome, and designs it for Roman believer. Altogether, the specific day for the writings of Mark Gospel is uncensure. Most scholars that is in the late 50 or the 60. It may have been the first of the four Gospels to be written. Help us. In the 60s of the first century AD, a believer in Roman was treated cruelly by the populace, and many were tortured and put to death by the Roman Empire Nero. According to traditions among the Christian martyrs in the Roman during this decade were the apostles Peter and Paul. As one of the church leaders in Rome, John Mark was moved by the Holy Spirit to write this gospel as the prophetic anticipations of old apostles' response to this time of persecution. His intentions were to strengthen the foundations of faith in Roman believers and, if need be, to inspire them to suffer faithfully for the gospel, placing before them the life and suffering, death and resurrection of Jesus, their Lord. Survived. In the first moving narrative, Mark presents Jesus as the Son of God and the suffering servant Messiah. The watershed of the book is the Epistles of Caesarea Philippi, followed by the Transfiguration, chapter 8, verse 27 to chapter 9, verse 9. Was born Jesus' identity and his mission of suffering are fully disclosed to his 12 disciples. The first half of Mark focuses primarily both on Jesus' mighty miracles and on his authority over sickness and demon as a sign that God's kingdom is at hand. At Caesarea Philippines, however, Jesus tells his disciples openly that he must suffer many things and be rejected by the elder, the chief priest and the teacher of the law, and that he must be killed and after 3 days rise again. Chapter 8 verse 31. There are marvelous references throughout Mark to suffering as the cause of discipleship. Chapter 3 verse 21 to 22, 30, chapter 8 verse 34 to 38, chapter 10 verse 30, 33 to 34, 45, chapter 13 verse 8, verse 11 to 13. God's vindications, however, will follow righteous suffering as demonstrated in Jesus' restoration. Special feature. Four major features characterize Mark's gospel. Number one, it is a gospel of action, emphasizing what Jesus did rather than what he said. Mark records 18 of Jesus' miracles, but only 4 of his parables. Number two, it is a gospel for the Romans, explaining Jew custom, omitting all Jew generally and birth narrative transgressions, Aramaic words, and using Latin theme. Number three, it is the gospel of urgency, beginning above Marie and proceeding repeatedly from one apostle to another, with 42 uncracks of the Greek verb form immediately for. It is the gospel of vividness describing the events of Jesus' life. Swiftly vivid and with the pictures quite skills of the lecture literary artist.